Hi, good morning. Welcome to Saturday Self-Care, some weekend wellness live from Arkansas for a few minutes before I hit the road and get on an airplane back to Salt Lake. I wanted to share some of the things that I have learned this week as I've repeated one of my myofascial release training courses, one of my seminars with John Barnes and his staff. I've been reminded, not that I need reminded, but I have been reminded of the importance of treating scars in the body. In particular, as they relate to women, some of the most common stories that I hear relate to C-section scars, hysterectomy scars, gallbladder removals, appendectomies, fibroids, bladder slings. There are so many surgeries that we as women have here in our abdominal area. The thing that struck me as I sat in class this week is that how much that creates a drag all the way through the front of our body. Now that may not sound like much to some of you, but it literally makes it almost impossible to sit up with good posture. When we work really hard to sit up with good posture because there's a drag in our abdominal area, it creates excess tension and work here on the back of our head and neck, on the back of our shoulders, through the entire spinal column. That's the least worrisome effect of scar tissue. More troublesome is when that scar tissue, especially for me in particular, scar tissue along the low abdomen pulls on my pelvis. Scar tissue just reaches and grabs inside the body. It adheres and glues things together. It's literally stitching and filling in gaps where those incisions have been to hold us back together, which is good. But once that wound's fully healed, we no longer need that adhesion, that adhering inside to stabilize. Scar tissue doesn't always comply with that. It can continue to grow inside. Often that means it wraps around organs, it wraps around bony structures, it wraps around nerve endings. Some women, years after surgery, are still numb in those surgical areas. Quite likely because scar tissue has wrapped around nerve endings, circulatory structures, bony organs, compressing things, so you just can't feel in that area. Again, might not sound bad, except it does create a drag all through the front of the body. It also affects the pelvic alignment, pelvic function, pelvic structure. The pelvis is the base of our spinal column, the base of our dural system. When we get a pull and a drag on our pelvic area, on our sacrum, on either of the hip bones, it creates excess tension on the dural system of the body. The dural system of the body, you've heard me talk before, doesn't tolerate excess tension and strain very well. When it perceives that excess tension or strain, it puts our body into a state of feeling like there's a threat, leading to anxiety. It can contribute to depression. It can contribute to what we feel like is stress that we just can't control, when really our body is tight because of a perceived constant threat. Again, those are just the bare minimum of what can happen with scar tissue. I was reminded as I sat there slumped in my seat trying to sit up straight, oh yeah, I have a scar, 2 of them, across my low abdomen that do tend to pull me forward. Treatment, self-treatment of that is really simple and straightforward. Now I know I talked about I got some branded balls in the office last week. So excited, they're so fun. A lot of you aren't in a place where you can come in, see me, get some treatment, get a ball. There are lots of other options. You don't have to have a branded logo myofascial release ball. This one, stress ball. It feels squishy. And a lot of people will tell me, well, that doesn't feel like that's going to do anything. I'm going to lay on it and it's just going to go flat. Well, one of my favorite things is just a hand towel. Roll it up in that. Suddenly, not so flat. And quite frankly, when there is scar tissue, we're not looking to massage that out. We're not looking to dig through it. This is a gentle, sustained pressure release. As you lay on the ball, you're going to put this anywhere you have a scar. Gallbladder's up here, appendectomy down here, C-section either here, sometimes vertically. Just put that ball, that wrap, anywhere, in that abdominal area. Lay flat on your stomach, soften over it. Let time and gravity do the work. That's one. So that's a stress ball wrapped in a towel. Tennis ball can actually work. Now, the key to good, effective myofascial release self-treatment is that you can sink and soften over whatever it is. A tennis ball, for many people, causes an instant instinctive response of, oh, that hurts. That's fine, as long as you can then soften again over it. Towel is, again, one of my favorite adjunct self-treatment tools. You can simply wrap that tennis ball in a towel, or just lay the tennis ball under the towel. Just that little bit of extra softening can help. Then again, you'll lay over that an area of scar tissue where it's numb, always a good area to treat, or where it's tender or you know it's tight. There's no wrong way other than clenching, bracing, resisting, fighting what you're doing, trying to grit your teeth through it, make yourself stay there. Please don't do that. You want to be able to soften in your body, quiet in your mind, let that ball and gravity do the work for 3 to 5 minutes or longer, consistently for several days, maybe a couple weeks. See what changes. So, tennis ball in a towel. This is a spike ball. Got this from a friend. He got it off Amazon. A spike ball. It does the same thing. It's soft and squishy. This one is a play ball. I found at Ross. It's a little bit larger, but it's also squishy, so it gets a little bit more of that surface area across the entirety of my abdomen. Those are just a few suggestions. And if you really don't have any of those, I'm guessing you do have a hand towel, you can just roll that up. This is going to put some good compression into any sort of scar tissue. Rolled up socks, you can probably picture this could be rolled up socks. Anything that you can get into your body that you can then soften over for sustained pressure release. So that is our Saturday self-care. I can't join you today. I have to get on the road, like I said, flying back to Salt Lake. I will be doing some of that travel self-treatment that I talked about last week. Always, always, always have a ball with me. Always looking to sit on the floor, which I covered that today before I travel. If you have any questions, give us a call. Like I said, I've been reminded of the importance for all of us, but especially for women, of treating scar tissue. Often it's in the front of our body, often it's in the pelvic area. It creates a drag. There's so much we can do to help heads, necks, backs, the entirety of our body feel better by addressing scar tissue that's in the front. I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.